Okay, so here's a good example of how you can make a decent amount of profit using very little margin, very little capital. So this position here, it's two lots, okay? Very, very small amount of margin required. You know, even with a really, really small account, you can take this trade. Now, why have I taken this trade? Well, look where futures are right now. Okay, this is where it was Friday, extremely bullish. Okay, so we have to see some kind of a pullback. Now, yeah, I did get in a little bit late. Ideally, I would have gotten up at the top there, so I'm maybe 28 points, I think, away from that major resistance level. So I am slightly late to the party. But in this instance, it's okay to be a little bit late to the party because look at this gap that has to be filled. So I actually took this with my team this morning. So 7:25 Malta time. So okay, team, good opportunity to take a short on the Dow, and I've taken it with a 50 point stop loss and a 100 point take profit. Okay, so it's a nice example because you know a lot of traders when they're starting off, they don't have a lot of capital, so they don't have a lot of margin. So this is a nice example. I mean, it's only two lots, guys. I'm already £24 up. Okay, now £24 might not be a lot for me, but for somebody with a small account, it can be significant. Okay, and it can also give you greater margin. So that's what this video is all about. It's about identifying the correct opportunities, and even it doesn't matter how much capital you have to look for the right opportunities. Okay, this is a beautiful setup regardless as to how much capital you're trading with. As I said, I did get in about 28 points below resistance, which it's not ideal. I like to try and get in at the top, but with the gap that has to be filled, I'm not overly concerned. You know, if there wasn't such a large gap, I probably wouldn't have taken the trade. I would have waited to see if it reversed again. But in this instance, the gap is just huge. I mean, as I said, this is Friday. This is where futures opened last night. And look at the size of that gap that has to be filled. And this will get filled at some stage. So it's a huge, huge gap that has to be filled. So that's what this video is all about, okay? And we'll come back to this in a while, see how we get on. I mean, look at that, 16 points up, €30 in profit. Okay, so you can see that it is possible, guys. It is possible to make money and build your account using a small amount of capital, small amount of margin, and taking small positions. Okay, this is a very small position size. Okay, so let's come back to this in a while. But as I said, guys, that's what this video is all about. It's showing you guys, especially the newer traders that have came to this business, that you can build your account up. Okay, so we're back a lot sooner than I anticipated. So currently 30 odd points up, 60 odd euro. I'm actually just going to take profit on this. So, I mean, 36 points. I says I was going to be happy to take 50. Let me just get out of this. Okay, so what are we taking here? 32 points, 60 euro. Let's just get in here, tell the guys that we're out of position. So out plus 33 points. Nice start to the day. Okay, so the reason that I've done that, guys, is it is nice to secure points first thing in the morning. Not even first thing in the morning, you know, on your first trade, if you can secure even 20 points, it's good to do that. It's good to get the points in the bag. So that's us, got 33 points now. Our daily kind of target, if you want to call it that, is between 50 and 70 points on the Dow Jones. So we've bagged 30 odd points. So we are literally, you know, we're literally 20 odd points, not even 20 points. What was that, 17 points away from our daily target on the first trade. Very good. So I've just told the guys there, happy to take profit to secure. So as you can see, guys, it's very easy to make a decent amount of return on a very small amount of capital, a very small amount of margin. So that was 60 odd euro. Okay, so for one trade, 30 odd points. Very, very achievable. Again, it's really about identifying the correct setup. Now, as I said, I did get in a little bit late on this trade. So as you can see, it's very achievable to build a small account, you know, identifying the correct setup. And as I said before, you know, you should be identifying the correct setup no matter what margin or what capital you're trading with. You should never rush into a trade. But this is a beautiful setup. I've been saying this for years, guys. I've been saying this for years about space being created. Some people think there's something funny about that, but clearly you can see space created for me means a huge gap that has to be filled. Now look at the speed of this sell-off. I'm still glad I secured the 33 points, because this probably will pull back a little bit and then it'll probably come back down again. But as I said, especially for your first trade in the morning, if you can secure 33 points, that's a great start to the trading day, an absolutely wonderful start to the trading day. So you can see that it is very, very achievable to make a decent amount of money using a small amount of capital. I mean, that's €60, okay? I would say the average person probably makes about, I don't know, maybe 120 to €130 per day. So roughly £100-ish, I would say. I'd say that would be quite average for the majority of people. Obviously, there'll be fluctuations in there, but literally you can make half of that on one trade. And I'm not even sure how long we were in the trade for. I don't even think it was an hour. I think it was maybe 50 minutes. So you can see, it's powerful. It is powerful. If you are doing this before you start work, you've already made half a day's wages before you even get to work. Okay, so it's there, it's achievable. And again, guys, the real value from this video is making you understand and realize that you don't need a huge amount of capital to make profit in this business. And again, if you cannot look at your laptop or your screen or your phone, whatever, make sure you put a stop loss in, just to minimize that risk, to protect your capital, to protect your account. Now that it has kind of found a support level here, look, it's going to start pulling back. I'm not going to have FOMO later when it pulls back. Not when it pulls back, when it sells off even further, and it does reach the 50 points or the 100 points that I was looking to take. But I mean, if you can take 33 points on your first trade, I mean, you're off to a wonderful, wonderful start to your trading day, your trading session. So I hope you guys have got some kind of value out of this. Maybe not so much for you traders that have been in the business for a while, but I would say that in terms of new traders to the business, you're not sure what your expectations should be. You're not maybe sure, what kind of returns that you can get. Hopefully this video has opened your eyes a little bit to the possibility of having the opportunity to make a decent return on a small amount of capital, a small account. As I said, guys, 2 lot sizes, very small amount of margin. Even with a really small account, you can take this trade. Again, ensuring that you look for the right setup. And as I've been saying, guys, I've been saying it for years now, space is your friend. Why is space your friend? Because look at this gap that has to be filled. And you can see, and this is pretty typical, futures opened last night, operated in a relatively tight price range, as you would expect overnight, because there's not much activity in the market. But then, the markets have then opened in Asia and then across Dubai, etc., Europe, and that's why we're seeing this sell-off, because now there's volume in the market. Okay, so it's not a coincidence that once Asia kind of opened up and then the Middle East and then Europe, that we're actually seeing movement in the market. This is what should happen. So again, guys, it's looking for the right opportunity, and that's probably one of the biggest questions that a new trader asks themselves. How much money do I need to trade with it? How much money do I need to make X? Well, here's the answer, guys. You can literally trade with £200 or £300 with one position at a time. Okay, you cannot take multiple positions if you're just trading with £200 or £300 or dollars or euro, but you can certainly start with 200 or 300 and take a small position size with this kind of setup, and making sure that you put that stop loss in there and you can get a good return. So I think, guys, for the amount of capital that you can use, a 60 euro return is pretty decent. As I said, considering the average person probably makes double that for a full shift, working for a full 8 or 9 hours. You can do this before you go to work. It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, imagine if you could do this every day. Imagine if you could make 50 or 60 euro every day and you make double that in your job. Okay, you can see how quickly you can build up your account. You can literally double your account in a week. Okay, but as long as you wait for the correct setup and making sure that you put that stop loss in place if you cannot look at your screen. Otherwise, if you can look at your screen, you can see it and you can watch it. But if you're doing something, you got to put that stop loss in. Okay, guys, hope you got some value out of this. And remember, guys, this is the message that I want to get across today, is you do not need a huge amount of capital to make money as a retail trader.